African youths right now are changing the narrative. But the question is, are you part of it? If you didn't know, Africa's millionaires is going to be increasing by 42% in the next 10 years. That's why on this channel, I am going to be letting you know of every bit of information I have that's going to lead us to the millionaire and why not billionaire level. So here are 5 exceptional and very lucrative businesses that you could launch in Africa right now and be sure to be a millionaire. One of these businesses I am talking to you guys about today, I have embarked on it already and I am going to update you guys on my development. Business I am going to be talking to you guys here about is agriculture. I cannot emphasize enough on the importance of agriculture in Africa, and you guys know why already. We have fertile soils, so there's no excuse we have not to embark on serious agriculture in Africa. Do you even know that the agricultural potential of Africa is going to increase by 1,000 billion in the next 10 years? When we talk of 1,000 billion, we mean $1,000 billion in the next 10 years. That's the agricultural potential of Africa. I am talking of serious agriculture, mechanized agriculture, where we have no boundaries, no limitation, and where we are aware that everything can grow in Africa. Unlike what we were told in our schools or growing up, that certain crops or certain fruits couldn't grow in Africa. That was a big lie, okay? Everything can grow in Africa. The only trick that took place in those days is that those seeds weren't brought to Africa, okay? Certain fruits were restricted to the Western world alone. In fact, that's not the topic of the day, so I'm not going to get into that sector, which is a little bit complex. Let's limit ourselves to what matters here, okay? There's this video of mine that I'm going to be linking here. If you haven't watched that video, please do well to rush and watch it, okay? Don't be left behind because that video is actually very, very rich. I am talking there about 10 things that you could actually cultivate in Africa that is going to give you millions. And like I told you guys in that video, there are 2 of those things that I have embarked on already, and I am going to be updating you guys, okay? So you better hurry and join the race. If you are still lagging behind, it's up to you. You would have only yourself to blame because some of us have embarked already. And like I told you, I am taking it as a personal mission on this channel to make sure that I pull as many people as possible along with me this journey of pursuing millions. Yeah, we are here to make the money, okay? And we are embarking on it as African youths. And we would love you to join this community by subscribing to this channel in order not to be left out, okay? Now, talking about this agricultural point, let me explain to you the real problem we Africans are facing and why we Africans are not exploiting up to even 1/10 of the potential we have here in Africa. You know, in Africa, we practice seasonal cultivation, seasonal farming. That is, we have the rainy season and the dry season. During the rainy season, we cultivate things that grow. Once those things start producing, we have a maximum of 2 to 6 weeks to get rid of them. And by getting rid of them, we sell them at all cost. Okay, and when some of them aren't sold, we let them rot because there's nothing we can do with them. Let me take an example of tomatoes. In Africa, we cultivate tomatoes and many other perishable goods that have a lifespan of 2 to 6 weeks for them to be sold. And once we can sell all of them, we let them rot because we cannot transform those products in order to enable them last months and years. Why not? So that's the difficulty we as Africans face, okay? Few companies that we know like Elena Tomat or Gino that actually do in the transformation of tomatoes, but that's not enough. We have cassava, potatoes, maize, carrots, green beans, and many other products fruits that we produce seasonally that perish due to lack of maintenance for it to stay long. And that's why we see fruits like tomatoes or carrots and all the like very cheap and affordable during the rainy season. And a few months later on, where we are into the dry season, those same goods are very, very expensive and very difficult to find because we produce seasonally. And that's why we have this irregularity of demand and supply. During the rainy season where the products are fresh and all the markets are saturated with the same products, prices are low. Prices drop basically, and we can't even consume all of it. And a few months later, we have difficulty laying our hands on such products and the prices are so high. The prices become so high during the dry season because the supply is little. And during the rainy season, the supply is high and the demand is low. So we keep having the demand and supply curve fluctuating, which is something that in the Western world has been solved already by just the transformation of such products, okay? This leads us to our third point, which is industrialization. We need to start investing in the industrialization sector of Africa, okay? Now in the Western world, lots of fruits are not let to rot. A lot of fruits are transformed, okay? Are dried with a drying machine, for example. Do you know that there are machines, industrial machines, that dry up fruits and conserve them in the dry form, that you could actually soak them to become fresh when you want to use them, or you could consume them dry. So we need to start investing in machines that could help us transform our primary products to finished products that could last longer. That's how we are going to make those millions right here in Africa. With the Chinese right now, we have the possibility of importing whatsoever machine we want. We have China and India that can provide you with any industrial machinery, any industrial production chain you want. They could provide you with a full production chain that you could import and transform every product we have here in Africa to a finished, durable product, okay? We have machines that could transform our groundnut to oil, cotton to oil, sunflower to oil, soybean to oil, and so many things. Unlike back in the days where everything was mystified, everything is now easy because we have the direct connection to import those machines from China. Do you know that the Chinese have actually come up with a machine that can help produce gari, this gari that we love so much, in a large scale? Machines that do the peeling of the cassava, the hashing of the cassava, the frying of the cassava, and the drying of the cassava for you. That it does everything. It's a whole chain that does everything for you and brings the finishing gari product that we love so much. Do you know that Africa spends over $35 million to import food? It's so painful that nowadays in Africa we see import rice, corn, fish, chicken. It's incredible. I know you're going to be watching this video and maybe saying that we don't have the funds to buy such machines. That's why now, as a smart African youth, you need to be thinking of anything that could bring you some passive income already, okay? I have a video coming up on businesses that you could do with little or no money in Africa, and I am going to be uploading that video pretty soon. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so that when I upload that video, you get to be one of the first people to watch. Our next point here has a connection with agriculture. We are going to be talking here of logistics. Yes, it's a sector that has not been fully exploited in Africa, because right now a lot of Africans, like some of us, are involving ourselves in farming, in agriculture, and serious agriculture. So we need trucks, lorries, big trucks to transport our goods to the markets, okay? We all know that farm to market roads are very poor in Africa, and most times we can afford those trucks. Well, for now, so if you have the money, or you know someone who could invest in buying of huge trucks that could carry tons and tons of foodstuff from the rural areas to the urban areas, you are going to make millions in Africa, because there's a huge need for such. All you need to do is buy one or two for a start and lease them out. Let people know that they are out for rent. People are going to be renting. The next business I am going to talk here about is health care. we in Africa are still lacking at the level of healthcare. You guys know all our top government officials go to treat themselves abroad, okay? Whenever their family member is in need of a certain level of healthcare, they fly them out and get them treated there. But do you know that if you can establish a well-structured, up-to-standard healthcare structure here in Africa, you are actually going to be having those patients come into your hospital. Do you know that? Because the problem we in Africa have is that we always rely on the government for everything. And we know very well that government structures or government healthcare services are not the best. But do you know that a few people have started investing in that sector and it is actually paying off? Do you know that there are hospitals or clinics in Africa that you spend a minimum of $1,000 just to give birth to your baby there? There are such clinics in Africa and they are actually making millions. They're actually having patients on a daily basis. If we, the Africans, don't invest in our continent, who's going to do that for us? Do you guys know that there's actually another scramble for Africa right now? With the difference that it's a more diplomatic and mutual agreement, but there's actually a scramble for Africa going on right now. So are we going to sit and fold our arms? This is 2023. Are we still going to sit and fold our arms, watch others come and invest in our countries, and be proprietors of all the important infrastructures while we are there sitting and looking at them? I don't think so. So we better hurry up and do those investments. Like I always say, everything is just a matter of time, okay? Every house starts with a foundation. We just need to start piling the bricks and putting one brick on top of another to reach where we want to. But we need to start somewhere. And we need to do that right now. Thanks for watching this video and hope to see you on my next one.